to another edition of Through My Lens. I'm your host, Karen Jackson. And Through My Lens podcast is an opportunity for me to sit down, to talk to, and to learn from individuals who have not let their setbacks, circumstances, or their challenges define who they are and what they can accomplish. And I am so excited to share this special series that I will be kicking off in the new year. It is called Strength for the Struggle. And I will share a little bit about my experience and the things that I've had to struggle with over the last several years and how I've been able to navigate that and the lessons that I've learned in order to do that and how that just makes you Welcome to another edition of Through My Lens. I'm your host, Karen Jackson. And Through My Lens podcast is an opportunity for me to sit down, to talk to, and to learn from individuals who have not let their setbacks, circumstances, or their challenges define who they are and what they can accomplish. And I am so excited to share this special series that I will be kicking off in the new year. It is called Strength for the Struggle. And I will share a little bit about my experience and the things that I've had to struggle with over the last several years and how I've been able to navigate that and the lessons that I've learned in order to do that and how that just makes you when you go through your trials and tribulations because we all have them, don't we? And so this special series will be an opportunity that I will be sitting down talking to individuals who want to share their story about how they have overcome the challenges and found strength in their struggles. So today I would like to introduce Pastor Pamela Cone. She is no stranger to our podcast. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you. Thank you for accepting my invitation. And I say that because, it's not always an easy thing to talk about some things that we often keep private, that we don't always share with others. But I also think, and that's one lesson that I've learned over the last several years, is that nobody's exempt from, having trouble, right? It is how we respond to the trouble and what we learn and how we can help other people based on what we learned. And I think that is probably one of the greatest gifts I think that God gives us as we navigate, and He teaches us how to navigate through those difficult times. So I'm so excited to have you here to be able to share your story and your testimony. And so for the people who may have not seen you on previous shows, tell us a little bit about who Pastor Pamela Cone is.
Oh, well, I am the founder and CEO of Curated Spaces LLC. I am the assistant pastor to my husband for our church, Dominion Church of the Living God International. I am a mother. I am a me. I'm an author, a uh, podcast host of Sunday Mornings with Pamela Cone and Curated Conversations with Pamela Cone. And I also host a virtual platform, Wisdom and Grace. And I'm the author of Destiny Chaser.
Wow, wow. So I know that you have a lot that you we can learn from you, being a destiny chaser and an author and a pastor, co-pastor. Oh my God. So where do we begin, or where tell us um tell us about a time that you would like to share, about a time that you may have felt um you found yourself struggling, and how did you respond and what did you do about it?
I would say in this last past year, and most recently. So I had an ischemic stroke at the end of February, and I really didn't know that I was sick. And so my legs started swelling, and I had some issues kind of holding my concentration. And so the stroke, I believe, happened at the end of February. I did not get it diagnosed until the 10th of March. So in that time, I was still operating in full Pamela Cone mode. I still was hosting my platform for my Wisdom and Grace, and I still was preaching. The Sunday before my diagnosis, I mean, I preached a mean sermon, as they say in church, where I preached a house down that Sunday morning, and I had an ischemic stroke. And so the symptoms didn't immediately come. I think maybe because I did not have any outward show of it. But as the symptoms began to manifest from the diagnosis and from having the stroke, and I had it over my thalamus on the right side of my brain, and so that is the worst place to have a stroke because the thalamus controls everything. So over time, I noticed not only pain, I had migraines, sensitivity to light. There was a time I was walking around in my house at the time with sunglasses on, you know, because of the light was so noise, being able to even read my Bible. I'm one of those, I still flip pages. And so being able to read my word, just the words was visually too concentrated for me to be able to have a focus on what I was noise. I couldn't go to worship service because of the music. So all those many different I had to first of all learn how to adapt, and I had to understand what the condition was, and then I had to had to tell myself, okay, girl, you need to take time to heal. And so that meant really unplugging from being active in my church, unplugging from teaching, preaching, letting go boards that I sat on, volunteer work that I did in my community. I was a spokesperson at the time for the American Heart Association, and I had to withdraw from that. I had appearances that I was supposed to go on, living, dating, all those many different things. I had to say I can't do these things because not only did I not have the stamina, I didn't have the attention span. So the cognitive issues were there, and I had to commit to therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, behavior therapy. And what I found out was it takes a made up mind when you go through something. You have to make up your mind you're going to go through it, and you're going to do what's necessary to get on the other side. And oftentimes, people of faith we will say, uh, God is a healer. Um, uh, you believe God can do all things, and I knew all those things. I had to do my part. I had to do my part. So, as believers trusting in God, you do your part, and God will do His. And so, He was telling me to be still, to be still. And so, during that time, I had to learn how to do that. And then he instructed me to do things like adult coloring, to activate the creative side of my brain, to be able to help heal and the anxiousness that I had. I had anxiety really badly. And so I can look back at when I first started coloring. Oh my God, you just thought I was a crazy woman. But as time went on, through the process, I saw it helped me. So knowing what is going to help you get through the struggle, knowing what is going to help you navigate what you need to navigate, depending on others. So I'm going to rewind just a little bit. And January 2023, the Lord gave me three words: health, He gave me kindness, and He gave me power. And I didn't know how those things were going to be manifested for me to learn. Because when you're going through something, it's to teach you something. It's a season to teach you something, to work something in you, to that you might know Him in a different way. And so I thought, well, I need to be concerned about my health. I do need to do that. I do need to be better with that. I do need to maybe be more kind. I didn't know what these words were going to mean, but I had to accept kindness from people, and not being the one who was always being kind to others. I had to accept that. And in that, the Lord showed me the love of God, the love of God, the kindness of God through people, people that pray for me, people that, um, if I text them, because you can't text everybody the same message. So if you ask me how I'm doing today, you're expecting me to say, God is a healer. And I'm laying in bed. I know God is a healer. That has not left my mind, but I'm in pain from head to toe. So if I needed to say that to somebody, I knew the right people to message and say, it's not a good day.
Mhm.
I'm in pain.
Exactly.
I'm in
Okay.
pain today. I'm still believing and trusting God because He gave me a miracle. And I know He's going to heal my body. But today, can I acknowledge? So acknowledging that you're in a struggle
Mm.
is does not equal being faithless. Oh, I just said something. Wow. Acknowledging that you're in a struggle.
Acknowledge.
I was sick. James tells us when you are sick to call the elders because it's hard to pray for yourself when you're sick. When you're
Right.
on your bed of affliction, it's hard to pray for yourself. But I still believe, I still was laying there believing God. But I wanted to say that day, if you called me that day, that's what you got. I'm in pain, whether you could handle it or not. But it taught me something, Karen.
And it's interesting that you say that
Mm-hmm.
about the acknowledgement part because I think, and that's what I was going to ask you. You kind of answered part of the
I'm so sorry.
question. No, you're fine. I love it. Uh, so, because you were saying how you first had to acknowledge that
Yes,
that things weren't quite right, right? And you
yes.
are an author and a community advocate. You're doing all these things, but then you have to acknowledge that I gotta be kind to me, right?
Ooh.
I gotta be kind to me. And being
Yes,
kind is just acknowledging, like, okay, I need some help right now. I'm not the Pamela Cone that I'm always. And I know
yes.
that had to take a certain kind of strength and a different perspective, like you talked about a different mindset.
It was a different mindset. And it was, in hindsight, it was very humbling. It's a scripture that David says in Psalms. He said, "It was good that the Lord humbled me."
Mm,
And so I can sit now as I'm reflecting on what it brought me, this season of healing and taking time to heal, as Ecclesiastes says, in 3 and 3, a time to heal, and taking this time that it caused me to pause, and the Lord would just tell me to be still and be still, be still, be still. And I was like, how much stiller can I get? I'm in the corner of this couch covering. How much, how much,
I
how
need to
much
be
stiller
preaching.
can I go? And I thank you. And I miss Pammon. I miss being Pamela. And I would tell the ladies who treated me in therapy, especially the one who was doing the speech therapy. And she's like, well, your lip, you're not droop. And I thank God for all that. Nothing, the blood vessel went flat. I mean, just like a flat tire. I have no blood on my brain. I didn't have a blood aneurysm. I am a miracle.
Mm,
And so, and I thank God for that every day. And I didn't neglect to thank Him. Lord, I thank you for what you've already done, for sparing my life, because I could have been out of here. So I'm going to thank Him every day for life. When I
mhm,
celebrated my 53rd birthday this year, I said, I'm celebrating being alive. I don't need a gift. My life is the gift. And
amen.
so, but going through all those many different things, I told her, I said, look,